everyone joining me on this journey. And now I can see your eyes are trying to read the words behind me. Hope whispers is one, and the other is be patient, be gentle, be humble, be loving. Which, speaking of loving, I heard these words earlier today. Choose love. I was listening to two speakers, Carolyn Myss and Robert Holden, and they've been doing a 4-part series titled The Holy Journey. If you've been following my blogs for, year and a half now, I think, you know I've been on a quest to understand what hope is through the eyes of others. In the last couple of months, I've also initiated another quest where I'm wanting to understand what spirituality means through the eyes of others. So I've been reading, learning how Indigenous tribes view spirituality. I've been starting to explore Buddhism and just different ways that I can learn through the eyes of others what it means for them to be a spiritual being having a human experience and a human being having a spiritual experience. So in the end of their talk today, they were talking about choosing love and said much more eloquently than I'm going to say. It was all in the context of no matter what life brings, how can you or do you choose love? And they didn't mean love in the context of relationship, romantic. It's love in the context of how we are being in the world and with what life brings us. And Carolyn shared a story that I think was just from her experience this week. She'd had one of those mornings. Things weren't going, the best. Things were getting frustrating. She went to the bank with one of those frustrations and, started to talk to the teller. And the teller looked at her and said, "Have I done something to offend you?" And that was the aha for Carolyn. She looked at the teller. She said, "We're going to redo this." And she walked outside, went back into the bank, walked up to the teller and said, "Good morning," and started the conversation in a whole different way. It reminded me of a blog I wrote, I think 2 or 3 months ago, when we had a FedEx driver get stuck in our driveway in the winter, and how I redid the conversation from my initial greeting to walking back up the driveway and talking to that driver some more. So I was reminded last night of my travels home from my international trip to Israel. And as those that may travel know, sometimes there's just going to be a delay and a layover. And as I listened to those around me, as tired, maybe even more tired than me, from a long day of travel, they were certain that the people at the counter, the airline in general, the airport, whatever it may be, were in control of what life was bringing, and they were to blame. And was I tired? Absolutely. Was I ready to get home? Absolutely. But I chose love. I chose to stand there knowing that it would all work out the way that it meant to, know that everybody was doing the best that they could. And how I wanted to show up was to just generate a counter energy that said, "I appreciate you and thank you for doing the best you can to get me home safely." So I'll leave you with that. How best in your dance of grace between opposites, in the art of hearing, can you listen within and choose love? Namaste.